Kawaki are the new reflection of acceptance versus rejection.
Hey, acceptance of his fucking life, acceptance of his like new self.
Yeah,
that's hard as fuck, bro. That's hard, bro. That was like cherry on the cake. That's hard.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Slender.
Hey man, it's your boy JG,
and we back at it again with another. Why Kawaki is not finished powering up to kill Boruto and Jiraiya?
Hey man, Naruto Explained, man. If y'all know what Naruto Explained is, man, he's one of the best Boruto content creators on YouTube.
Yep.
So if y'all don't know who he is, man, give him some minutes. Without further ado, we'll be right to the action. We ain't gonna say too much, man. If you new, hit that sub. So close to 250 subs, man. And hey, go to 300. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Straight into it. Kawaki, he is not done evolving. After everything that's gone down, the return to Konoha, Jura's shocking power and durability, and Boruto's growing connection with Momoshiki, it is now clearer than ever before. Kawaki, he's preparing for yet another power-up. This isn't speculation out of anywhere. The signs they've been building ever since that conversation with Amato where Kawaki literally said, use any means necessary, even scientific. That line wasn't just dialogue, it was clear foreshadowing, and the timing of it right before Boruto went into battle with Jiraiya, right before Boruto seemingly got a power-up because he has made a deal with Momoshiki, that is no coincidence. Because Boruto and Kawaki, they have always mirrored Naruto and Sasuke's growth pattern, where one levels up and the other one soon follows afterwards. But what's the difference now? Well, Kawaki's pursuit of strength, it isn't rooted in hatred or in enlightenment. Instead, it is in obsession. And that's where his downfall might begin. So, join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where your OBC, your original Boruto chief, is going to be diving deep into why Kawaki's next power-up is inevitable, what form it could take, especially if it involves Shibai Otsutsuki cells, how this escalates Jura's threat level and the story's power scaling, and the Buddhist and the folklore lesson that Kawaki is missing as he walks down a path of destruction, ultimately before someone like Boruto saves him. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to check out my other two anime channels if you want to hear more lore-based content from the four others.
Dangerous.
Ishiki's death. And after Kawaki reawakened Ishiki's Koma Seal, Kawaki inherited his core abilities, Daiko Kuten and Sukuna Hikona, on top of the ninja tech abilities that Kawaki gets as a cyborg. And in the time after that, he's had Amato remove his limiters.
It's crazy, bro.
That made him...
These niggas from like the future, like 3 years from now, bro. Like, that's crazy.
Theoretically, one of the strongest humans alive. Though technically like, Kawaki's 100% Otsutsuki, but you get what I'm saying. Which the 100% Otsutsuki line comes directly from Code. But even with that, he's still falling short. Against Jura, the Ten Tails Shinju, who's born of Ishiki's essence and the Shibai cells that Code had, as well as Code's chakra, he is now part monster. And Kawaki, he landed some clean hits on him, but he failed to finish the job. He couldn't outright destroy him, otherwise he would have. Jura tanked his attacks, pulled out a book mid-fight, and said, Kawaki, I just want to talk. He showcased evolution and durability that surpassed even Ishiki's own known limits. For Kawaki, that was unacceptable. Remember, Kawaki's obsession isn't just about strength, it's about control. His entire childhood, it was about helplessness. His own father used to beat him and sold him to somebody else. Jigen abused him. He couldn't protect himself. And later on, he couldn't stop Boruto from becoming a full-blooded Otsutsuki. He went as far to try to kill him. Now he sees all these different boogeymen that are potential threats to Naruto, and he sealed Naruto away. For Kawaki, control is part of his character, as well as the emotion of love. Now, the world is seemingly in the process of collapsing all over again, and that trauma is resurfacing, on top of there being characters who are starting to figure out that omnipotence happens. So, when he tells Amato, use any means necessary, even scientific, he wasn't asking, he was demanding. He was even going so far as to say, if you don't do this, I'm not putting karma on your daughter to try to revive her. And that line, it confirms that Kawaki's next step, it isn't
manipulation
divine,
tactics.
It's really artificial. He's ready to abandon all morality and humanity for the sake of his mission, eradicate all threats to Naruto. And this is why we have to say that the stakes, they're changing. When everyone returned to Konoha, the narrative tone is shifted drastically. The homecoming wasn't about peace. It was really a transition. Yes, Moegi got unsealed. It looks like she and Konohamaru are coming to grips with their feelings. Sarda and Sumire have each stated that they're in love with Boruto. Himawari appears to be Inojin's pursuit in terms of romantic endeavors, but
no, that black holes are actually
Boruto has made a deal with Momoshiki, seemingly about to get a lot stronger. That means that Boruto's not just channeling Otsutsuki Chakra anymore. He's going to be able to access Momoshiki's
baby's gonna be tough
because they are working together now. Potentially even Momoshiki's doji.
This gonna be the last story.
If Boruto does get to a new level, then Kawaki's obviously gonna have to respond.
He already confirmed.
This is the unspoken rule of the rivalry. But here's where it gets interesting. The moment
they gonna end this off with a banger.
It's gonna
be a banger, but
he's already discussed it by anything.
They gotta have a baby.
Nah, they not.
They gotta have a baby.
Hates himself for the fact that he himself is Otsutsuki. So seeing Boruto lean deeper into that power, despite Kawaki literally doing the same thing, it's gonna push Kawaki to reject everything alien, which is the ultimate irony of his character. Boruto embracing some Otsutsuki power is the exact same thing Kawaki's doing, but he doesn't care about the hypocrisy. This was laid out in chapter 4 when Sarda called him out on it. Kawaki said, "I'm an Otsutsuki who exists to kill other Otsutsuki." Beautiful commentary by Ikimoto if you read in between the lines what he's saying there. And that's the tragic irony. Kawaki's fear of things Otsutsuki, his hatred of things Otsutsuki, is slowly turning him into the very Otsutsuki he hates the most, Ishiki. And that brings us to Shibai, because there is a Shibai-Otsutsuki connection. Shibai was the pinnacle of evolution. He was the god of the Otsutsuki in that he was an Otsutsuki who transcended morality and mortality through constant rebirths, perfect chakra, and divine abilities. He had every shinjutsu known possible. His cells, they represent a shortcut to godhood. You thought Hashirama cells are OP, Shibai cells are a different level. Amato, who has Shibai cells, implanted those cells into the car inners, hoping that they would awaken new powers. You better believe that because Kawaki knows as much, he's going to ask for those Shibai cells. He might unlock other abilities that go far beyond anything that Ishiki can do. Think about how Daikokuden already allows him to store objects and people in a timeless dimension. Shibai's essence could help them manipulate time itself, not just freeze it, but bend its flow into a spiritual loop. There is a Buddhism connection to that. That's why I bring that up. Based on Buddhist stories that we have, he could gain something that is derived from the concept of Mujo, which is impermanence, a technique that allows him to dissolve physical matter back into nothingness. Imagine Kawaki erasing energy, not with a destructive force, but through detachment, a cold, absolute nullification of its essence. Karma already allows him to absorb jutsu and chakra-based stuff. Daikokuden allows him to store it away. Sukuna Hikona allows him to shrink it down, but there are limitations to it. Imagine being able to bypass those limits. That kind of power, it would visually echo Buddhist nirvana, but thematically represent the opposite. Obliteration through ego. Obliteration through attachment. Not through enlightenment, through surrender. And that brings me to the Buddhist paradox. Because it does get philosophical here. So, Kawaki's entire path mirrors a corrupted version of Buddhist philosophy. His Daikokuden and Sukuna Hikona abilities, they are directly inspired by Japanese deities rooted in Buddhist lore. Daikokuden represents wealth and abundance, but Kawaki uses it to hoard someone like Naruto and weaponize destruction by summoning out things like those chakra cubes. Sukuna Hikona is tied to folklore, in particular the Ishinboshi folklore, the one-inch man, the one-inch samurai. It symbolizes smallness leading to wisdom, yet Kawaki uses it to dominate and not to humble himself. And to a degree, Kawaki has shown instead of wisdom, he has ignorance. Not calling Kawaki himself ignorant in that he's stupid, but I'm more so saying ignorant in the sense of not being able to detach himself from his own ego. Again, ego's not a bad thing in this. I'm not saying that he's a pompous asshole. Have to clarify because people like to take stuff out of context to say this is what you meant when that's not what I meant. So In Buddhism, enlightenment comes from detachment from the concept of desire itself. Understanding that suffering comes from clinging. Kawaki does the opposite. He clings to strength. He clings to control. He clings to his obsession over Naruto. And he also, very quietly, has been clinging to hatred of the Otsutsuki. So every time he powers up, he's sinking deeper into samsara, the endless cycle of suffering and rebirth. The very cycle that Naruto's story was about trying to overcome. Naruto, all 72 volumes plus one with Naruto Gaiden, they are stories about the cycle of samsara. Boruto, on the other hand, has been a story about trying to rise above samsara. So it's only right that someone like Kawaki is still stuck in that cycle. It's very poetic. Ishiki sought to ascend beyond mortality and he failed. Kawaki is walking that same road, believing that power will free him, not spiritually, but free him from the suffering he's had to endure. Free Naruto from all the potential suffering he could have from all these different boogeymen. But instead, Kawaki's just chaining himself even further. If he gains Shibai cells, it's obviously not going to make him a god, but instead, it's going to make him a slave to his own fear of being powerless. And that's the beauty of Kawaki's character. And that is why, despite so many people wanting Kawaki to be killed, which that's never going to happen, that is why Kawaki is being set up to be redeemed by someone like Boruto. This was always going to happen. Again, if you want Kawaki to die, take your feelings out, reread the manga. It's pretty clear we're headed towards a redemption for Kawaki. His character is getting ready to get saved, but he has to descend further into the darkness before he can get saved. When you look at the potential powers that are tied to folklore, it gets even more interesting. Let's look at some of the techniques that Kawaki could logically use that fit into his character if he does get Shibai cells. Given his link to the Ishin Boshi folklore, the one-hit samurai who overcomes giants with wit and courage, Kawaki's next step could evolve into this theme being something symbolic. Karma reversal, the ability to invert attacks through dimensional compression, representing the Buddhist concept of karma returning to the self. Potentially a Anata field, which is a nullification aura that is based on the Buddhist idea of no self, which erases all chakra signatures around him briefly for a moment. It's not destructive, but it's pure emptiness. We know that this is something Otsutsuki can do to themselves naturally. They can erase their chakra signature. This would just be expanding that. Then you have Noyori's veil, which is inspired by Shibai's godlike transcendence, where Kawaki momentarily can manifest a divine form that blurs reality and illusion. We know that there should be a Shinjutsu version of Genjutsu. That's where I'm kind of getting that from. These are strictly hypothetical. They wouldn't necessarily make Kawaki stronger, but they would align with Shibai's image, a man who abandoned his body to become eternal, and the fact that Kawaki be using some of his cells would be very fitting. Not all Shibai's cells are overpowered destructive abilities. You also have abilities like you saw with Ada and like you saw with Kashin Koji. So that's where I'm leaning more so in that territory. And that's what makes this very much more terrifying. The more that Kawaki becomes somebody who is evolving, the closer he's getting towards becoming someone like Ishiki, because the Otsutsuki believe in the transgression of power in terms of there should be a transference of power. Now, there's also narrative balance here, and there's jura scaling we have to look at. So let's talk about the power scaling that everyone likes to go boom, boom, bam, bam, because it does affect everyone. Kawaki's next evolution, it directly raises Jura's ceiling. If Kawaki's going to need Shibai tier power in terms of getting a sliver of his power from his cells, that just means that Jura is already beyond Ishiki's level, and that's massive. I think that if we're being honest here, you can put Jura over Ishiki. I don't think that's a controversial take. Like, that might piss off some people that want to cling to Barryalmo Naruto still being the peak of the universe. Nobody wants Naruto to get surpassed, but let's be real for a second. This is a battle shonen. What sequel ends up lowering the power scales? That doesn't typically happen. The threat levels go up, the characters get stronger. Whether it be My Hero Academia, whether it be Dragon Ball, whether it be Black Clover, whether it be Yu Yu Hakusho. You name the battle shonen, more likely than not, the characters get stronger. The threat levels go up. even with My Hero, which is currently airing. We never got to see, quote, Prime All Might and Power, but based on various things that have happened, we can directly scale the upper tiers of the verse and say which characters got to All Might's level and which characters surpassed him. It's no different here. It's why I warned people when they hyped up Code, I said, oh, beyond Jigen levels of power, that's going to be the floor. We're going to be at that floor for a while, and then we're ultimately going to surpass Baramo, Naruto, and Ishiki. And that's exactly what's happening, in my opinion, just looking at the narrative.
What if this nigga can, like,
it also tells us that the story will be stepping into a new level of power. Beyond Calm,
probably
beyond
bro. They all have a dimension. They all have a dimension.
Yeah, like Kawaki shit.
Yeah, they all got one. All Suzuki had one. That's why when Boruto fought Shiki, he put him in that little portal.
Yeah,
that's his time. That's his time space dimension.
Yeah, the story's signaling the next stage.
They all have their own personal shit.
It isn't just about who's the strongest. Instead, it's about who's the most human in a world of gods.
We still haven't seen Kawaki. Kawaki got 2 dimensions. He got a dimension where Naruto's at, and then he has another one in Karma.
Yeah. And
but
that
I think,
brings
bro, Shiki's dimension,
Boruto versus Kawaki, the potential end game. That's something inevitable.
Broken,
Boruto, who is accepting Momoshiki's presence in order to protect others, and Kawaki, who rejects the Otsuki, is still willingly becoming very much like an Otsuki.
Baggy jeans.
Those are 2 paths where they began as brothers, but
can fly.
they're on the way
Literally
to becoming
can fly, bro.
before eventually
bro.
intersecting again. Just like Naruto
fire.
and Sasuke, they mirrored enlightenment versus vengeance. That's the whole reason why Naruto had Sage Mode. That's the whole reason why Sasuke's eyes were evolving off of hate. Boruto and Kawaki are the new reflection of acceptance versus rejection.
Hey, acceptance of his fucking life, acceptance of his new self.
Yeah,
that's hard as fuck, bro. That's hard, bro. That was like cherry on the cake. That's hard. That's hard, bro. Acceptance.
Boruto's next
it's not hatred no more.
Yeah, it's not hatred.
Accepting what it is. Accepting that the shinobi world could.
It's mucked.
It's mucked. Nigga. World symbolizes their separation. A final war between coexistence versus control is gonna bubble up. That's where those two are inevitably gonna clash again, and it won't just decide who's the strongest. It'll also be much like Naruto and Sasuke. It will decide who is the one that is in the right. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and clicking here on the left to check out more videos from Naruto Explained, or click here on the right to check out videos from
WVid, bro.
Definitely WVid.
That's crazy acceptance, bro.
Yeah, man.
Dog. Hey, bro. I can't fucking wait, man. It's only a matter of time, y'all. Can't wait for this shit to be animated, bro. I really can't, bro.
We love this shit. We've been hyping this shit up for a minute. This shit is balling on our channel. And we know when Boruto TVV gets animated, bro,
it's gonna be so fucking beautiful, man.
Shit gonna be crazy.
Seeing all the oral farmers, we gonna see the cold shit on first, then their first ep. It's gonna be first ep.
Nigga, everybody gonna be tuned into this bitch, bro.
Stepping on his face, first ep is like...
First ep,
man. No, that's gonna be crazy.
First ep.
Then you gonna see Uzuhiko's second ep.
Uzuhiko?
Oh my gosh, y'all niggas not ready, bro.
Yeah.
And we still got the prophecy arc. Oh, the omnipotent arc, y'all, bro.
Straight peak, man.
Dude, still gotta finish the cold arc. Cold limiters. Yes. Damon in action.
Damon in action. There,
fully in action. Oh yeah, bro.
It's just so much peakiness,
dude,
man.
Y'all not ready, man. Y'all not ready for it. Y'all not, bro. Hey, though, man. That's it for action, man. We gonna wrap this video up, y'all, man. If y'all new, man, hit that sub button, man. We so close to 300 subs, man. We're really close to 250. We're like 2 subs away from 250 subs, man. But if y'all new, man, 300 subs, man. Like, comment. It's your boy JG, man.
It's your boy Slender.
Hey, we out.
Peace.